What is going on, guys? Tomcat here, and today I have a muscle car battle for you guys. We have the Ford Mustang Boss 302 versus the Chevy Camaro ZL1 or ZL1 if you live in Europe or Britain or wherever. Substitutes Z for Z. But yeah, these two cars are absolute beasts. They're both powerhouses, American muscle icons, or I should say the evolutions of some amazing American muscle icons. I did the stats a little differently this time. If you guys like it better this way or feel like you liked it better the last time I did it, let me know in the comments below. Now we're going to start out with the ZL1. I think it looks great in black, by the way. I chose it stock in the black color, and I think it looks really, really good, to be honest with you. Now launching it is tricky. Just as launching any 580 horsepower Camaro would be. I have all the assists off, traction control off, stability control off, and oh god, what's the other one? I think just traction control and stability control are the only ones that would affect launch. But anyway, for any of you guys that are new to my channel and don't know, I always drive and review my cars with all the assists off. Now the ZL1 pulled really, really hard down the straightaway. It felt really good. It was a very it felt like it had power everywhere. The setup worked really well. Hit 186 miles an hour coming down the first time. Great sound. Great sound no matter whether you're inside the car or outside, looking at it from the third-person view. Now, that's actually a problem you find with some cars, is that they only either sound good outside or only sound good inside in Forza Horizon. Not with this baby. This thing is legit. You can hear that awesome 6.2 liter supercharged V8 just as well inside and outside. I mean, you're obviously going to hear more of the exhaust outside, but when you're inside, you hear a blend of exhaust sound as well as engine sound, which is cool to hear, and I really like to, I really like that. Now, something real quick that I did want to mention is that I wish you could customize your wheel color straight from the dealer, like on the stock wheels, because I've seen tons of ZL1s like that people have ordered from dealers that they have ordered with black wheels, and that seems like something that should be in Forza Horizon, because Forza Horizon is a game that's about personalization and customization and having your car the way you like it. And I think dealer wheel color should be one of those choices. You know, it should definitely be in there. It should be one of those choices, because I think it's something that's missing. It's definitely something that's missing. But that's a topic for another video, and we need to get back on topic. So run back the other way, definitely over 180 miles an hour. We hit about 182 that time around. Pretty good run, pretty solid run. So next up, we're gonna hit some drifting. Now this thing, drift monster. You can take it out, just buy it straight from the dealer, take it out, and you got a drift car. It drifts just like crazy. If you're looking for a simple car to drift, you could definitely give this one a try, or should definitely give this one a try, because it's great. It's really balanced. It's very easy to control. It's easier than quite a few other cars. In fact, it's one of the easiest American muscle cars actually to drift in Forza Horizon. Now, it may be different for Forza 4, but because some of the cars in Forza Horizon are a lot easier to drift than in Forza 4. And wow, you see that? You see that back there? It's freaking crazy. Anyway, but actually, I take that back about it being easier to drift this car in Horizon. This car is like stupid easy in Forza 4 to drift. I mean, even on stock power output, you take this thing to drift on Forza 4, it is stupid easy, just as it is on Horizon. This very car is absolutely stupid easy to drift. So if you're having trouble drifting, go buy a ZL1. You will definitely not regret it, because it is smooth, it is easy, it's clean, and I mean, see, you can just, and if you run out of power, just yank the e-brake, and you got a ton more distance you can cover with your slides. It's controllable during the slides. You can actually steer it with the rear end, which is a good thing, because you want that in an American muscle car. You want that in a front-engine, rear-wheel drive, high-horsepower car. so that you can have that much more control of it during these drifts and slides, which you're obviously going to do because it's a front-engine rear-wheel drive high horsepower car. Now, our next test is our sound test, so I'm going to go ahead and shut up. And now we move on to the Ford Mustang Boss 302. I went for mine in red. I think it looks absolutely awesome with that black stripe down the side as well as the black wheels. It's an amazing looking car. We get a little bit of a burnout right here just to warm up the tires a bit. And as far as launching the Boss, it's a little bit easier than launching the Camaro because it's a lot grippier and it doesn't have as much horsepower, but you still have to take into account the fact that it is rear-wheel drive and it is an American muscle car, so it's going to spin its wheels quite a bit. I mean, it's not a VW Golf. You know, it's not something that's going to just get off the line without any drama at all. It's going to have some drama, but then again, that's the point of an American muscle car. That's the point of a huge V8 up front and rear-wheel drive at the back, is so you have that drama, that you have the drama that you want. You have that theater aspect. You know, it's a very, and they've talked about it on Top Gear. Richard Hammond especially talks about it quite a lot, is that like theater factor that some cars have, and the Mustang and the Camaro definitely have it. Now on that run we managed 172, not as high as the Camaro's top speed, but I think the Ford definitely reached it quite quite quickly. It reached it in it's hard to describe, but the same way that the ZL1 reached 186, I believe, very, very quickly, the Boss 302 reached 172, its top speed, in a very, very, very similar amount of time. So the cars are very close, and I think if the Boss 302 maybe had some longer gears, you'd be able to get some more speed out of it. And if you could tune gear ratios, just gear ratios, in Horizon, God, that would be awesome. I mean, just gear ratio tuning alone would be a huge deal, a huge addition to this game, and everybody would love it. If you're listening, Turn 10, and Playground Games, at least gear ratio tuning, please, please, can we have it, please? We want gear ratio tuning, please, please. And I'll quit begging for gear ratio tuning now because we're moving on to drifting. Now, as far as drifting goes with the Boss 302, the Boss 302 is interesting. It's not quite as easy right off the bat as the ZL1 is, but it's one of those cars that you kind of have to learn. You kind of have to work with it a little bit more to get to know it, but once you get to know it, then it works really, really, really well. It's one of those cars that rewards practice, because as you'll notice, my run gets better as I go on, and I think the ZL1 was easy from the start. The ZL1 was like, oh, whatever, I can do this, I can handle it from the start, no problem. The Boss 302, obviously I could handle it from the start, but as the more I drifted it, the more I got used to it, and the better I got with it. So it's a car that you have to work with in order to get those slides that you want, and to get that angle that you want, and to get the amount of speed through a corner that you want. Now, obviously, you can steer it with the tail end just like you can the Camaro, but the Boss 302 is a little bit more balanced. It's a little bit more grippy, I should say. It's a little bit more grippy than the ZL1 is. Now, you may be saying, grippy? That's not a good thing. That's not good for drifting. Actually, this is where most people get mixed up. You want a drift car to be somewhat grippy, because if your drift car is just loose and sloshy and slidey all over the place, it's just going to slide right into walls, and it's not going to be controllable at all. Grip is a very important part of a drift car, and anybody that knows about setting up a drift car or setting up or tuning a drift car, you'll know that you need an element of grip in there. And the professional drifters, definitely, when you see them, or when you see some of the setups they have on their cars, they have some built-in grip because they need that extra controllability during the slides. Now, here's the Mustang Boss 302's sound clip. absolutely awesome sound. I love it. And now we have our sprint races. Now, the Camaro ZL1, obviously off the launch, a little bit tricky, just like I said earlier when I did the top speed run. But these sprints are all about handling. And as you can see, if you've been watching my battles, you'll know I always use the same course, the same track, just to be fair with them, so I can be as fair as possible with these comparisons. Now, something you notice with the ZL1 is that it's a lot tighter through the corners than any other Camaro. It's a lot tighter, it's a lot more responsive, it's a lot more planted, a lot grippier than pretty much any other Camaro you'll drive. Now, the ZL1 is obviously very track focused, but it works well. It works well also in a road course setting like this, because if you know how to weave it through the corners properly, then it actually does really well. It works well, and it's very responsive to the commands you give it. It never fights with you that much, unless you, I mean, if you throw it into a corner at max speed like that, it's gonna spit you out. You know, it's gonna be like, hold on a minute, and just, you know, totally throw you out of the corner. But if you know what you're doing and you know how to use the car properly, not like I just did right there, then you'll definitely like the ZL1. And, you know, granted, it is a little bit, it does have a little bit of body roll since it's a muscle car, and it does kind of sway a little bit from side to side, but that can be cured just as any understeer can be cured with a boot full of power. Now, the ZL1 managed a 1 minute 40 seconds .5. And now we have the Ford Mustang Boss 302's Sprint. Now, the Mustang Boss 302 was retuned from the ground up from all the other Mustangs to be a beast on the track. This car is a track car. Think of it as the Mustang's equivalent of the Dodge Viper ACR. It's a track car for the street. This thing feels very solid in the corners. It's a lot easier to handle than the ZL1 is. It feels very direct. Like, there is absolutely no fighting with this car. This car wants you to have a fast lap time. This car wants you to push it in the corners. Now, it does feel like it's lacking power compared to the ZL1, but obviously it's going to feel like that going from a 580 horsepower car down to a 444 horsepower car. But that being said, going down to the changing from the ZL1 to the Boss 302 was actually a bit refreshing, because the Boss 302 was a lot easier to control than the ZL1. The ZL1, you always have to be on your toes, otherwise you're just going to go straight into a wall. And that's the same is true with the Boss, but with the Boss, you get a little bit more room to sort of play around with the car. You get a little bit more room to explore the car's limits without being thrown into a wall. So I hope you guys enjoyed this comparison. If you guys liked that video, don't forget to click the like button. Tell me in the comment section below what you thought of it. If you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe for more car comparisons, Forza Horizon videos, gameplays, Forza 4 videos and gameplays, and tons of other videos and stuff. I will see you guys later. The Boss 302 managed a 1 minute 42.8.